Today we're going to be working on creating tints and shades as well as working on our intensity of color. So up here is where you're going to be working on the tints and shades. You are going to need a little of each color. I don't have my blue and orange on here, but you would also need blue and orange and white and black. So you're going to need red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, black, and white, and just a little of each color. Then what you're going to be doing, these are tempera paints, so you are going to be using a paintbrush with a water cup, but you will need to dry your brush in between getting the colors. So, for example, I'm going to start with red here. So I would just grab a little red. You don't need very much at all. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to paint my first color. Now, if I'm going to the left, I'm going to be adding white. That is a tint of red. So I'm going to be adding white as I move over, and red and white are going to actually make the color pink. So I would suggest going ahead and just painting it red first of all, and then preferably before it dries, grabbing your white, but you'll need to wash your paintbrush first so that you don't ruin your colors that you have on your palette. So I'm going to wash my brush. Remember, I shouldn't be clinking on the cup. I should just kind of come across it like that. And then I'm actually going to use a paper towel and dry it. Then I'm going to grab some of my white, and my red should still be wet, so I should be able to come in and add a little white, which is going to create a tint of pink. Then I'm going to come in, add my red again, and the next time, so I'm cleaning my brush again, drying it off, grabbing more red. This last time I want to add even more white to it. So after I get my red painted, I'm going to wash my brush, dry it, grab some white paint, but I want to add a lot more white paint. So I'm going to grab quite a bit of white paint on my brush this time so that I get an even lighter color. So the more white I add, the lighter my color is going to become. And if you want to add even more white, you can. I would still wash your brush between every time you change colors, making sure to dry it off on a paper towel. I'm going to add some more white and see what happens. It should get even lighter. And then I'm going to go the opposite way. So I'm going to wash my color off again, dry my brush. I'm going to grab my red again. And now this time I'm making shades, so I'm going to be adding black to my colors. And black really needs to be used liberally. You should not put a lot of black because it will overtake your original pigment or color. So I'm just going to put some red down, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my black, and I'm just getting a very small amount of black, and even that might be too much. And I'm going to come in and mix it together with my red. If it's too black, then you'll need to grab some more red. There we go, that's gonna make it a little bit better. It's a dark red. Oops, I'm losing my iPad there. Sorry about that. Okay, so there's my dark red. Then I'm gonna use that dark red, and I'm gonna go ahead and paint over here. I'm just gonna grab some since I already have it made. And then all I have to do is add a little more black to this side and mix that in, and I'll get an even darker shade of red. So I've already kind of done half the work here. Could have done that on the other side too. I should have thought of that. It's okay. So just a tiny bit more black, mixing it in with my red, and that will get me an even darker shade of red. And then I'm just going to keep working through my colors. So you'll see the next color I would be using is yellow. Yellow and black tend to make more of a brownish color, but you'll still practice going with white, going with black. Once you're done with all of your tints and shades, we're going to be moving down to the intensity portion of the worksheet. And remember, intensity is how bright your color is. So we add the complementary color of like red, for example, I would add green. Yellow, I would add purple. Blue, I would add orange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my color. I'm going to keep going with my red. I would put just the pure color down at the ends. Okay, so on this side it would be red, on the other side it would be green. And then I'm going to try adding just a little of my complementary color into this side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a little green, and I'm going to go ahead and mix it with my red, and it's going to change my color's intensity. It's going to make it less bright, more of a darker, duller color. So that's green with red. And then I'm going to try to mix about a 50% ratio here, half red, half green. So I'm going to go ahead and try that. I'm cleaning my brush again, drying my paper towel, grabbing my red again. I'm going to put my red out there, and then I'm going to try to do 50%, so about equal amounts red and green here. And we'll see what we get. Now I think I might add a little red to my last one to make it a little more red, because you want more red closer to the red side and more green closer to the green side. So I'm going to go back to that last one and add just a little bit of more red to it. See if that helps change just a little bit so that my colors are varied a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to be going pure green over here, and then in this one I should have more green, less red. So I'm grabbing my green, and then I'm going to grab my green again, and this one I want to have quite a bit of green because I'm just going to add in a little bit of red to it to change the color or the intensity, make it more of a neutral color. So I'm grabbing a little tiny bit of red to mix in with that green. And I'm changing the brightness, making these colors a little duller. They're more of a neutral color now. And then I would continue through with the rest of my boxes and my other colors.